the first since 2014, appears to set out a major shift in the focus of America's massive military and its endless wars, with officials now saying that the global wars on terror, while continuing, will no longer be the prime focus of U.S. national security. Instead, Defense Secretary James Mattis says the new strategy will put the primary focus of the U.S. military engaging in power competition with other great powers, with Russia and China apparently the targets. The great power conceit is a very 19th century concept based around the idea that certain countries have uniquely great influence and authority worldwide. Historically, the great powers tend to view everyone else as pawns to be used in broader global strategies, which establish the great powers' pecking order with respect to one another. That these nations are all major nuclear powers makes direct conflict hopefully unthinkable, but the U.S. apparently still envisions committing its massive military to the task of repeatedly one-upping and needling them, largely for the sake of competition.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports hundreds of thousands took to the streets across the United States and abroad on Saturday to mark the one-year anniversary of the Women's March, which is Sunday. Also on the anniversary of the inauguration of President Donald Trump, the marches also drew people wanting to express dissatisfaction with Trump, particularly his recent criticism of immigrants from Haiti, El Salvador, and African nations. Rallies were held in Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, and hundreds of cities elsewhere across the country. Thousands of protesters in Washington heard speeches from Democratic legislators, including House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi of California. Other events happened abroad in Beijing, Buenos Aires, Nairobi, and Rome. Marches under the social media banner #Weekend of Women are also scheduled for Sunday. The rally in Washington happened amid a government shutdown that began at midnight. Activists met in front of the Lincoln Memorial before heading to the White House carrying signs boasting slogans that include "Grab him by the midterms." Other signs supported reproductive, immigration, and healthcare rights. Despite the visible rebukes of his policies and statements, Trump referred to the marches as a celebration, touting a relatively low female unemployment rate during his time in office. Trump said, "Beautiful weather all over our great country, a perfect day for all women to march. Get out there now to celebrate the historic milestones and unprecedented economic success and wealth creation that has taken place over the last 12 months. Lowest female unemployment in 18 years.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports tourists who came to Battery Park in Lower Manhattan hoping to catch a ferry to see the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor got an unpleasant surprise on Saturday, learning the must-see destination was closed because of the U.S. government shutdown. The National Park Service announced on Friday afternoon it would close the historic statue and nearby Ellis Island to visitors if Congress failed to reach a funding deal by midnight. Apparently, not everyone got the word. An Argentine exchange student came to Battery Park at the southern tip of Manhattan with a friend, having purchased tickets online 1 week ago to visit the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Neither of them were aware of the government shutdown, and when the Washington deadlock was explained to them, they rolled their eyes. In Washington, open-air parks and monuments remained open despite the shutdown. The Smithsonian Institution was also open, but its museums and the National Zoo will close on Monday if lawmakers still have not reached a deal, according to a statement. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. Starbucks begins its sinister Phase 2 of operation. This is Doyle Redland reporting. After a decade of aggressive expansion throughout North America and abroad, Starbucks suddenly and unexpectedly closed its 56,423 worldwide locations today to prepare for what insiders call Phase 2 of the company's long-range plan. Cynthia Valcamp, Starbucks head of marketing, made this brief statement at a press conference earlier today.
We have enjoyed furnishing you with coffee-related beverages and are excited about the important role you play in our future plans.
Existing Starbucks franchises across the nation have been shuttered with high-strength titanium, and the well-known Starbucks logo has been slightly altered to present the familiar mermaid figure as a cyclopean mermaid whose all-seeing eye forms the apex of a world-spanning pyramid. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition of the program. As always, you're invited here to join us. If you like, you can take control of the airwaves here at 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username here is lrn.fm. Plus, there's the new Free Talk Live Discord call-in line. You can get to that by joining our Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. It's right there at the top of the list of different rooms and such, because you can go and chat with other Free Talk Live listeners any old time of the day or night. It does not have to be during the live show, although certainly there are always people there during the live show. If it's 3 in the morning, there's a chance somebody's there chatting on the LRN Discord. Check it out at discord.lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnny Ray.
So we got more Venezuela news coming up here tonight. Not only are people starving, but the government is supposedly going to be rolling out its own cryptocurrency, which color me skeptical about this whole thing. But here's a story from CNBC. Rife with double-digit inflation, civil strife, and signs of imminent economic collapse everywhere, Venezuela has seen the future, and it's in cryptocurrency. Now, they just have to convince elements of their own citizenry as well as the rest of the world. Earlier this month, President Nicolas Maduro said the government plans to float nearly $6 billion in a new unit called Petros, a cryptocurrency that would leverage its vast oil reserves as money. The idea, as I understand it, is that one petro will be worth 1 barrel of Venezuelan oil.
Okay.
That's the supposed plan. Just last week, the South American nation sent a high-level delegation to Qatar in order to court investment. Yet the plan has encountered immediate resistance, not the least of which comes from Venezuela's opposition-run parliament, which nearly 2 weeks ago declared the cryptocurrency illegal, and the U.S. Treasury Department. Last week, a Treasury spokesbureaucrat told Reuters that Petros could violate sanctions and help prop up the embattled Maduro government.
Wow.
If they actually successfully release this thing, and of course, we're talking about the government here. Government tends to be very poor at everything that it does, and the Venezuelan government is particularly bad. I am skeptical as to whether or not this thing's ever going to come out, but if it does, certainly the Treasury Department is correct in that if you buy a petro, you are supporting the Venezuelan government, which means that you're supporting murder. That means that you're supporting killers. You're supporting this violent state that has brought down, near starvation on a good portion of its population. So don't do it, is what I have to say if this actually comes out.
Yeah, I think one of the great underpinnings of the crypto revolution is control of your own money.
That's right.
And just backing, a coin that is backed with a commodity introduces the requirement for trust.
Sure. Plus, it's the government coin.
Yeah, I would trust a petro to be backed by a barrel of oil as much as I trust a tether to be backed by $1.
Which is to say, you don't.
I don't trust it at all.
So, according to the story here, many investors, some of whom have already been stung by Venezuela's scattershot attempts to rescue its collapsing economy, have little faith that the fledgling petro will help resolve the Bolivarian Republic's ongoing crisis. Mauro Roca, sovereign analyst covering Latin America,
says, quote, "The Petro is not a crypto. It's more of an IOU from the Republic backed with oil reserves," unquote. And that's what I was very skeptical of when I first saw the news reports claiming that Venezuela was going to have a cryptocurrency. I immediately doubted that particular claim because what would be the benefit in them having a cryptographically sound currency? They're just going to come out with, if they come out with anything, it's just going to be some sort of digital bolivar, some kind of digital fiat money that, as you say, even if they claim that it's backed by a barrel of oil, good luck collecting on your barrel of oil. Mm-hmm. Somehow I doubt you're going to be able to go to the, PSVR, their state-run oil apparatus there, and show up with your Petro wallet and walk away with a barrel of oil. I just, color me skeptical about the whole operation. Amid hyperinflation and tens of billions in unsustainable debt, quote, "The country is having serious problems extracting oil, so it will be difficult that these IOU, or it'll be, strange translation here, it will be difficult that these IOU retains much value," said Roca. "It's unlikely that the Petro contributes to solve the critical situation regarding the macroeconomic backdrop." And that seems like astute analysis to me as well, that even if this thing does get off the ground, it's going to be too little, too late. It's not going to set the world on fire, and it's certainly not going to resolve whatever the issues were, meaning socialism, that led to Venezuela being in the state that it is. This is not going to save the country. It's not going to help anybody who are not government agents in Venezuela. It's going to help Maduro, if it actually gets sold around the world and, brings some money in for him. Might extend his stay in the presidential palace by, a few more weeks or a few more months. But ultimately, in the scheme of things, this government's coming down. The Venezuelan government is, I don't know how many more days or weeks it has left in its last legs. It seems like it is getting into its last legs. Your comments, your thoughts, welcome here. Also, speaking of governments in their last legs, maybe the U.S. federal government's never going to come back. Wouldn't that be nice? There's a supposed shutdown going on. We got Matthew on the line in Louisiana. And Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live.
The last time this happened was in 2013, and Ted Cruz held up filibustered some spending bill trying to get Obamacare yanked out of it by the roots, and it didn't go well for the Republicans because Obama engaged in a lot of what you call shutdown theater. And I was listening to Daryl and you talk on Friday evening show about the road cones in front of monuments that didn't have any personnel needed. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that, blocking sidewalks. Well, I was listening to NRA News by Cam Edwards. I can get it 1 hour roundup back then on Sportsman's Channel. And Cam Edwards was talking about there's a jogging path that runs along the Potomac River. And it's kind of a municipal National Park Service joint control thing. Somebody from the National Park Service was ordered to go out there and yank the handles off of the drinking water fountain. So if you were jogging and you couldn't get a big gulping drink of government because they yanked the handles off.
Wow.
And that is what they call shutdown theater.
Amazing.
You were talking about, if I could just have a second, you were talking about the government of Venezuela offering this cryptocurrency based on a barrel of oil. How much of that is actual oil and how much of that is salt water? Because I am willing to bet you dollars for donuts that when they seized control of those oil wells back when Chavez took over, they took the chokes off the wells and just ran them flat out, and they've probably coned them all in, and they're all producing salt water now.
Really, that's a thing? I don't know enough about oil. So if you run an oil well too hard, it'll dredge up salt water? How does that work?
Yeah, because most all oil wells are saltwater or gas drives, and that is the pressure to push the oil into the low-pressure column is either comes up from below by salt water pushing its way up. It's always doing that. Or it comes from an expanding gas cap at the top, which is pushing the oil down. Now, salt water and gas are less viscous than oil. Mm-hmm. So if you open your chokes up all the way and just run the well flat out, what happens is the salt water starts to run past the oil and into the oil well before the oil and cuts off the oil from ever getting in there.
I had no idea there was underground salt water. That's news to me, but I'm not a scientist, so you know.
Oh, yeah, every place on Earth, just about every place on Earth that you can find oil, it's pretty much all driven up to the surface by salt
Amazing.
water.
Matthew, thanks for sharing that tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. There's more on the way. Our toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited here on the live Sunday edition to join us toll free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733 or Skype on in at Skype username LRN.FM. Of course, you can bring up anything that's on your mind with you in the studio tonight. Actually, it's Ian and Johnny Ray joined by
Will.
Hey, Will.
How you doing?
Will Coley is here from The Call to Freedom, the new weekday afternoon show on LRN.FM from 4 to 7 Eastern Time, which you can check out more of at calltofreedomlive.com.
That's correct.
Check that out. We were just, as you might have heard, talking about the Venezuelan cryptocurrency, which I'm putting in air quotes. As I had suggested before, I didn't believe this was going to actually be a cryptocurrency, and some of the experts are saying, in point of fact, no, it's not going to be.
Well, I mean, if they're hawking organic banana-based cryptocurrencies at the North American Cryptocurrency Conference, like,
is that what they did?
Yeah, there's a huge sign in the vending area that's like, buy a banana coin.
That's not a joke?
No, it's not a joke. Buy a banana coin, where the price and value of your coin is connected directly to the price of a pound of organic bananas.
Ridiculous. Why you would want to have anything associated with something that can spoil, I don't understand, but
well,
hey,
no,
whatever.
The value of the currency is supposed to be tied to the value of a pound of organic bananas.
Gotcha. So you don't get to actually collect a pound of bananas.
Probably not. No.
I see.
It's tethered. They're banana tethers. It's the same as being a dollar. It's worth about the same as, actually probably worth less than a dollar tether or a Venezuelan oil coin.
Petro.
Yeah, a Petro coin.
We can talk more about the Petro here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. We are going to your phone calls and thoughts. First, we go to Paul. He's in Portland. Paul, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Will, and Johnny Ray.
Will and Johnny Ray. Did you know that the state of Maine has passed a very interesting that allows you to make money from the sun? If you build like a fourplex house with 100 solar panels, so you have a lot of surplus solar energy, you can sell the surplus onto the grid in Maine at 33 cents a kilowatt hour.
Now, didn't you call about this before, Paul?
Yes, I have called many places about this before, because this is something people need to know how to make money off the sun.
Well, you know, you're actually making money off of the government mandating that the power company buy back that energy. It may not actually be worth what it's being paid for right now, because the government is manipulating the marketplace. So there's nothing wrong with people taking advantage of something that, if they're being taxed by the government, they can get some of that money back. I don't blame them for doing that. But ultimately, what you're describing here is a completely subsidized operation, right?
Well, no, it's simply that the market price for solar is set just like the price of gold is set.
No. This is something that the Maine government, you admitted this last time you were on the phone, the Maine government set the rates for what the power company is supposed to pay per kilowatt hour or whatever.
Of course. And the government,
so that's not the market. You understand that, right? When the government sets a rate for something, that's price fixing.
Yes, but it works.
Communism.
Germany is shutting down all of their nukes by setting the price at 99 cents. And this is going to be a worldwide phenomenon very soon. Japan set the price at 53 cents.
You're saying this is per kilowatt hour? And you believe that this is going to result in nuclear power being shut down completely because so many people will be excited about this that they'll lay out the money to purchase solar panels for their homes and start generating power back into the grid. So they can get a subsidy.
Yes.
I grew up in a rural area, right next to a town called Sweetwater. It's like maybe 45 minutes from where the little town I grew up in, and they have a huge nuclear dam there called Watts Bar. And I'm sorry, but those people who literally don't have access to dentistry but once a year, they're not going to shell out hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buy solar panels. I mean, these people literally are living beyond hand to mouth. Like, there's the poverty line, there's below the poverty line, and then there's rural Appalachia. And I'm sorry, but those people living around that nuclear power plant who are getting super cheap electricity, by the way, in eastern Tennessee, they're not going to go and buy a bunch of solar panels just because some Yankee
but it's 99 cents per kilowatt hour.
They can't afford to buy.
Oh, but they'll give you a subsidy to buy
Not in Tennessee,
the panels.
Good luck getting that subsidy
Where
in Tennessee.
does the money come from, Paul, to pay for all this?
It may not be obvious to you yet, but solar energy is free and it's safe, and you don't have to store the waste for 24,000 years up in Hanford, Washington. So
what about the batteries? Those batteries burn up, and they are pretty expensive to dispose of. I mean, they're dangerous. They're particularly dangerous to the environment. So, I mean, how is that any better than if you take a bunch of batteries and go bury them up on that hill, or you take a bunch of nuclear waste and bury it up on that hill? You're still destroying the ecosystem for generations to come.
Well, it's presuming you don't seal them properly.
Where they bury it in Hanford, Washington, is they bury it in tanks along the Columbia River, and these tanks frequently leak. In fact, more radiation has leaked from Hanford than leaked from Fukushima.
That sounds really scary. If somebody is polluting, then they should have to pay consequences for polluting people's lives and polluting their property. But that really has nothing to do with what I asked you, which was, where does the money come from? You're talking about how much per kilowatt hour is being paid out. You're touting this as some sort of solution, and I'd like to know where the money comes from.
The money comes from the energy of the sun.
No, sir. It doesn't work that way. The sun makes energy, okay? What you're saying is that the government is mandating the power company pay however much per kilowatt hour, you said 50 or whatever cents per kilowatt hour, to the people who are providing solar energy to the grid. I'm asking you where the money comes from.
Well, I know you don't understand this yet, but it took me a while to understand it too. The energy is coming from the sun.
Am I not being clear? Am I not being clear in what I'm asking? Gentlemen, am I confusing the two of you with my question? I just want to make sure.
No, I totally get it.
Okay.
You need money for the infrastructure. You need money to bury wires, to carry energy here and there. You need money to build solar panels. You have to have an initial investment. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I want to know where the money comes from to pay me per kilowatt hour. He keeps saying that I don't understand. The money comes from the sun. No, it doesn't.
So where the money comes from? The money comes from people paying for the power that you are giving.
Yeah, I wanted him to figure that, to answer that. But do you understand that, Paul?
Yeah, sometimes it's just like your kids. You got to lead them and tell them the answer so that they'll know.
Look, Paul, I wasn't intending to talk down to Paul like he was talking down to me in this case. So
it sounded more to me the other way around as it was happening.
I'm sorry. Y'all were both talking over. What was that, Johnny Ray?
I said it sounded to me like you were talking down to him, and he was doing his best not to talk down to you.
The toll-free number here, thanks for the call, Paul, is 855-450. I was asking the guy a question. I'm not sure how that's talking down to somebody. I wanted him to answer the question, and then he kept saying, well, you just don't understand this yet. 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. As always, you can join us on the radio waves. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And let's talk nutritional supplements for a moment. Over 60% of Americans take a nutritional supplement, and for good reason. Nutrient depletion of our soil, coupled with dependence on processed foods, has left most people deficient in those essential nutrients. But where do you start? If you visit a naturopath, you'll likely be told a cheap vitamin mineral supplement doesn't cut it. You'll also need probiotics, enzymes, antioxidants, and other nutrients. And by the time it's all said and done, you're buying 5 bottles of product and spending $150 per month. If that's a situation you've experienced, then you need to know about Whole Food Multi-Complete. For 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete has been quietly providing what the big guys won't, the perfect blend of supplements in a single product. They've taken the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. You can visit simplifymysupplements.com to learn more. and enter coupon code FTL to receive 10% off your order every time you order. Over at simplifymysupplements.com, your satisfaction is guaranteed, or your money back. And yes, they do take cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash, so you just have to send them an email about that. And don't forget to mention the coupon code FTL to get the deal. All right, we continue here with your calls and thoughts. It's whatever is on your mind goes with Ian, Will, and Johnny Ray in the studio. Let's start with Carl. He's in New Jersey listening to WPG. Hello, Carl. Do we have Carl?
Well, I want to talk about a recent 2010 Atlantic City High School graduate. We won't look into their scores and stuff because so few graduate, so many don't go to colleges. But you can always learn a trade like this guy did. He went into the military, but he joined not our military. He joined ISIS. And I guess he learned the trade of being a butcher because he captured enemy soldiers of ISIS. He cut their heads off.
Oh, no. Is this like breaking news? Is this happening, is this recent in New Jersey or what?
Well, it was a few days ago. It was breaking news. He lived in Margate, 2 towns towards Delaware from Atlantic City. His mom said on one news site that he attended a local mosque. I don't know where he learned this trade, or I think he's an anchor baby. But why does he hate us? Why is he wants lone wolves to kill people here in the USA?
Now, what? Now, has this person actually made statements publicly about hating you?
Well, not me personally, but they have videos of him saying this stuff. They have videos of him cutting people's heads off over there.
My goodness.
So enemies of ISIS cutting their heads off. So that's why I think
is this the story here, New Jersey, NJ.com, before joining ISIS in Syria, Jersey Shore man was a shy, closed person?
Yeah, but you can even get more news from Philadelphia or New York, or they all covering it. Maybe not New Hampshire, but geez. Oh my goodness.
Do we know anything about the gentleman's father?
Well, I think it said he died at 13, and they had a restaurant in Margate, a pizza place, and then they sold it, moved on. And the new owner, he gets calls for, I'd like pizza with a head on it, and he's not happy. His business.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. But
he died when the boy was 13. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I read.
Okay.
That's what I read.
The reason I ask is I heard a story tonight on NPR about Anders Breivik. And the expert they had, Anders Breivik was, oh gosh, what country was that?
Oh, in Norway.
Thank you.
Yeah, the terrorist attack in Norway.
He was a Norwegian, and he was disgruntled with.
Is this the guy that shot up the camp?
Yes.
Yeah, this children's camp.
He killed 77 people.
He was going to teach those terrorists that killing is bad by murdering a bunch of people he disagreed. That killing people you disagree with is wrong. By murdering a bunch of people he disagreed with.
The expert that they had talking about the story and about Anders said that a lot of the foreign fighters, the people who travel from the West to fight alongside ISIS or what have you, often have absentee fathers, and that Anders himself, his dad was not a part of his life growing up, and that can.
Well, you see
tend to a lot of bad behavior.
The same description that's given of most of your lone wolf shooters here in the U.S., like the guy that shot up in Colorado, the Boulder, Colorado theater shooting, or the shooting in Vegas. They're always described as he was really shy. He was kind of a loner. He didn't really talk to anybody. And what's the very first thing you see in the article? This man was reported to be a shy and closed person. So, people that are socially detached already seem to have are vulnerable to this type of thing. You saw it in the 90s and the late 80s with gang violence in the U.S. Gang leaders would specifically target young, ignorant people who didn't feel a connection to their local communities, who didn't have fathers, didn't have families, and needed something to belong to. And what you have, at least in the Muslim community now, is you have an entire generation that has grown up in a post-9/11 world where they've been told since the day that they could understand words that this is not their country, and even though they were born here, they don't belong here. They should go the hell back where they came from. Go home, you raghead. Go home, you sand this. Go home, you camel, and then they literally, people have no problem saying this stuff to 6 and 7-year-old children. The only reason they've never said it to mine is I'm sitting in this chair right now with you instead of in a prison cell, because I wouldn't put up with that. But Muslims that aren't from here, immigrants, they literally just cower to it, call the rights group and everything, they won't react to it. They won't do anything to defend themselves other than run home and call CARE, and CARE says, well, write us a check so that we can go on TV and talk about how we did stuff when 9 times out of 10 we didn't do anything. We just talked about it on TV and took credit for it.
There's a really detailed story here. Thanks, Carl, for the heads up on the story. Appreciate hearing from you tonight. Very, very, very detailed piece over at theatlantic.com about this guy and kind of, what happened to him supposedly to bring him there, and too much detail for us to actually read on the air.
His friend is quoted right here that he was a very shy person. He never talked to people. He was very withdrawn, and that he was totally brainwashed.
No doubt. But, there's usually reasons why the brainwashing would be more effective. I mean, if, for instance, the U.S. government wasn't going over and murdering innocent people, it might be a lot harder to persuade somebody to go and join another band of murderers.
Again, though, it's, we weren't, well, I guess the police were, but the military at least wasn't. We weren't invading Compton when the same types of tactics were being used to get young black youth who suffer from the same kind of social isolation that's being described about every one of these terrorist lone wolf attackers or people that run off to go join ISIS. They all have the same kind of story that you hear these guys talk about when on these prison TV shows, where they're like, well, why'd you join a gang when you were 14? Oh, well, like me and my parents, we just didn't really see eye to eye, and I didn't feel connected to the community.
You wanted friends.
I didn't really have, I didn't really have any friends, and I met these people, and they brought me in, and that's what happens. These kids are socially isolated. They find stupid people online, and I've seen it. I've been a part of it because I didn't take a young kid who needed somebody under my wing, and because of that, I feel responsible because this kid embraced an extremist viewpoint because he was coming to me and asking me questions.
When was this?
Oh, this was back in 2012, 2013. He was like a Ron Paul kid and the whole thing, but I was annoyed by him. I had a wife and a kid and better things to do.
Too busy.
I was too busy, and I kept brushing him off. And then like a year and a half later, he comes back to me, and he is not the kid with questions that he was when he left. He's like, your pant leg's got to be 3 inches from your ankles. Your beard's got to be 3 inches below your hand. And just like a straight
like a Nation of Islam kind of guy?
No, like a straight up Salafi. America is the enemy. The West is the enemy. Islam should dominate the globe. We should force people who don't believe the way that we do to submit to our views. Like in a year. And I feel responsible because I didn't take that kid in when he needed somebody.
There's more coming up here. You can share your thoughts with us. Toll-free number is 855-450. Free like freedom here on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. You can take control of the airwaves here, bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or you can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Plus, we've also got our Discord, where you can get on the Discord call-in chat room, which you can do by going to discord.lrn.fm. Here in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Will,
and Johnny Ray.
Also, do want to make sure you know about Zencash. There are a lot of different options out there in the world of cryptocurrency, and I can't tell you which one's going to end up dethroning Bitcoin, but I feel like someday that's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to be Zencash, but Zencash is definitely a pretty exciting crypto. They are brand new. I started up in 2017, and it was actual voluntarists who started this thing. They've actually got voluntarism as a word that is used in their white paper in a very positive manner. In fact, Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization, and they've taken some of the best tech from other cryptocurrencies, like the zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations. And they've created a secure platform for money and messages that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. You ought to check it out for yourself and do your own research at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. As we go to Jamil. He's on the line, I believe in Virginia. Jamil, you're on Free Talk Live on Skype.
Hey, yeah. Guys, I just wanted to, first of all, follow up on yesterday's shows. I tried to call in and lines were lit up. You know, guys were talking about immigration, so it's really not surprising. But just one guy said that had this whacked out conspiracy theory about how Donald Trump's great grandfather was a German spy. Well, there was some element of truth to that. I don't think you were familiar with it, but during World War I, the Germans actually did send a telegram courting the Mexican government to invade the United States during the war, before they were actually fighting with the United States, as a kind of distraction and to get back some of that lost territory. And then it was intercepted, and there was a big it was like a big sensation in the newspapers, and they it's kind of a
But did Mexico actually agree to attack the United States?
Well, I think it was intercepted by the
Ooh, we're kind of losing you. I don't know if you've somebody's losing got a bad connection. It could very well be us here at the studio. So, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it obviously ended up not happening. So I mean, but.
Just because the German government says, sends a telegram saying, "Hey, you guys ought to join us and fight the United States," doesn't mean they actually agreed to do it, right?
No, I guess not. Plus, it wasn't a surprise anymore. Even if they wanted to.
Right.
I mean, I can see why they would. They lost that territory.
Great Britain also had the same plans. There was pre-World War I. There's actually a really cool documentary about it on the BBC. It's called America's Secret Invasion of Britain.
Huh.
And basically, it details this entire invasion plan that the United States government had put together for invading Great Britain right before World War I, and it was because they had intercepted a telegram that was sent to the Mexican government, encouraging the Mexican government to help them invade the United States.
So Britain wanted to invade the U.S.
as well. Yes, so Germany and Britain both. And what he's talking about is also historically correct. Germany also sent the same kind of telegram, trying to convince Mexico to join them in an effort to invade the U.S. because everybody wanted to invade the U.S. and take over all of our resources. And then World War I came, and there no more of that.
Jamil?
Yeah, but then, the second history lesson, and forgive me if I heard this on Free Talk Live. I don't think I did. But in regards to immigration laws, first immigration laws, apparently, from what I heard, was the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882, I believe. Yes. And, of course, Chinese were just despised, so they wanted to not come in. And then after that, of course, it ramped up only in the 1920s with all the immigration. They were heavily restricted because all the Italians and everything. But all immigrants were despised when they came in.
I'm going to let you go, Jamil. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. The call's just kind of not really that good, but it may not be, like I said, might be our fault over here, so I apologize. Thank you for the call tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. Let's go to David. He's in San Francisco, listening online. Hello, David.
Yeah, how are you?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
A couple of different things. I'm looking at the government shutdown as being put together by a pack of saboteurs. For example, if you're a polluting company and you've got a big old stockpile and you don't know what to do with it, you wait till the shutdown happens, and then bam, all of a sudden your trucks go out and dump it in fields all over. And the first
Why would the government being in operating capacity stop that from happening anyway?
If all of the inspectors are laid off.
Do you think the inspectors are inspecting every single day at these facilities?
For real, they could just go to our old, if they wanted to, some big company could just call one of my uncles and be like, "Hey, you mind if we pour all this sludge on your cattle land?" And what are they going to do?
Right,
whether there's an inspector or there's not.
Right.
There would have to be an investigation. There would have to be all these things.
Dumping? You ever heard of midnight dumping?
Which happens whether inspectors are on the job or aren't. Government shutdown doesn't change any of that.
It sounds like you're soft on crime, but it's soft on a crime that poisons everybody. Somebody that midnight dumps in the wrong spot is poisoning everybody downstream.
Yeah,
none of that.
Nobody's here is in favor of poison, dude.
No one. What you're not doing is you're not explaining how the government shutdown is, or not being shut down, changes whether companies midnight dump.
Well, we all understand his point. It's just we disagree with him on the effectiveness of government agents. Well, the three of us in this room, David, don't really trust the government to pour pee out of a boot.
Oh, I know you're
not if you put the instructions on the heel.
Yeah,
I understand.
Look, man, all you got to do is look at the EPA, dude. I mean, look at the EPA and all the polluting that they've been responsible for. How about the U.S. military and all the pollution that they're responsible for?
Are you acknowledging that the EPA has been sabotaged?
I don't know about that. I just know they're government, so they suck at everything that they do. So when you put a government agency in charge of protecting something...
Do you understand how the EPA has been sapped by bigger and bigger and bigger concentrations of pollution? In other words, if you have one big sticky mess on this part of town and then another sticky mess on the other side of town, and slowly but surely it's creeping into the water source and they're mixing underground into the water table. Now, how do you get both sides to clean it up?
Well, let's see here. I'm looking at the 2018.
Big money says that they have to make money poisoning, and there's no money to be made in cleaning it up.
The EPA is big money too, David. What will happen is the EPA will come down hard on the one toxic site, and then they will pretend that the other toxic site doesn't exist because they hate one group and like the other group.
I'm looking
at they got buddies.
Politics.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the year 2018 budget, the one that everybody's freaking out. Like, oh my God, Trump's going to cut everything and we're all going to be like mutants. It's $5.566 billion.
Which is nothing compared to the world economy.
Yeah, that's nothing,
is like
That's
$40 trillion for the year, right?
Whatever.
You're just telling
Uncle Pennybags.
So first it's nothing. Wait. Now it's nothing, but at the beginning of your call it was, oh my God, if the government shuts down, then all these polluters are going to be able to go out there without the EPA.
You and I own the national parks. You and I own the bridges.
No, you don't own anything.
I just moved up here from Blount County where our mayor offered to buy Cades Cove from the federal government so that our county government would take care of that when the last government shutdown happened, when the Republicans couldn't get their way, so they shut the government down.
Right. Newt Gingrich is when all that hazmat got spilled. This was the first shutdown, right? Newt Gingrich, like 20 years ago.
No, I'm talking.
These guys know
I'm talking
what they're
2012.
They've had 6 months.
Can you hold on? Can we get? I'd like to have Will finish his story before you go rambling on there, David.
Like 2012, 2013, 2011, somewhere around there was a government shutdown.
Yeah, 2013.
2013. Okay. During that shutdown, Cades Cove is a major draw of tourism for where I live. It's actually where my ancestors used to live. It's
in Tennessee.
In Tennessee. It's a national park. The mayor says, you know what, TWRA, federal government, give Cades Cove to Blount County. We will buy it from you. And the taxpayers in Blount County supported it. It was like a huge thing. Everybody all over town was behind it. People were volunteering, like, I will give $10,000. I'll give $10,000 more. Oh, I'll give you $50,000. Like, people were willing to pledge their own wealth to help the county buy this national park. And the federal because it draws so much to the area in tourism.
But is it being mismanaged by the
It was being shut down by the federal government in the shutdown. So that was putting a halt to the tourism money that came into our area. So we were willing to literally buy it from the federal government.
What'd they say?
No.
Yeah. It's because it's not yours, David. You don't own it. They do. And you live in this fantasy world where you believe that the government is capable of doing so much, but then when you're pressed, you claim they've been taken over and that they've been, owned by the very same industries that they're supposed to be regulating.
If it's your land, why can they search you without a warrant when you're on it?
More coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. Thanks for the call, David.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin. mymagicmud.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, January 21st, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.02 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,332 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $12,137. Antiwar.com reports the newest U.S. national defense strategy, the first since 2014, appears to set out a major shift in the focus of America's massive military and its endless wars, with officials now saying that the global wars on terror, while continuing, will no longer be the prime focus of U.S. national security. Instead, Defense Secretary James Mattis says the new strategy will put the primary focus of the U.S. military engaging in power competition with other great powers, with Russia and China apparently the targets. The great power conceit is a very 19th century concept based around the idea that certain countries have uniquely great influence and authority worldwide. Historically, the great powers tend to view everyone else as pawns to be used in broader global strategies, which establish the great powers' pecking order with respect to one another. That these nations are all major nuclear powers makes direct conflict hopefully unthinkable, but the U.S. apparently still envisions committing its massive military to the task of repeatedly one-upping and needling them, largely for the sake of competition.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports hundreds of thousands took to the streets across the United States and abroad on Saturday to mark the one-year anniversary of the Women's March, which is Sunday. Also on the anniversary of the inauguration of President Donald Trump, the marches also drew people wanting to express dissatisfaction with Trump, particularly his recent criticism of immigrants from Haiti, El Salvador, and African nations. Rallies were held in Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, and hundreds of cities elsewhere across the country. Thousands of protesters in Washington heard speeches from Democratic legislators, including House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi of California. Other events happened abroad in Beijing, Buenos Aires, Nairobi, and Rome. Marches under the social media banner #Weekend of Women are also scheduled for Sunday. The rally in Washington happened amid a government shutdown that began at midnight. Activists met in front of the Lincoln Memorial before heading to the White House, carrying signs boasting slogans that include "Grab him by the midterms." Other signs supported reproductive, immigration, and healthcare rights. Despite the visible rebukes of his policies and statements, Trump referred to the marches as a celebration, touting a relatively low female unemployment rate during his time in office. Trump said, "Beautiful weather all over our great country, a perfect day for all women to march. Get out there now to celebrate the historic milestones and unprecedented economic success and wealth creation that has taken place over the last 12 months. Lowest female unemployment in 18 years.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports tourists who came to Battery Park in Lower Manhattan hoping to catch a ferry to see the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor got an unpleasant surprise on Saturday, learning the must-see destination was closed because of the U.S. government shutdown. The National Park Service announced on Friday afternoon it would close the historic statue and nearby Ellis Island to visitors if Congress failed to reach a funding deal by midnight. Apparently, not everyone got the word. An Argentine exchange student came to Battery Park at the southern tip of Manhattan with a friend, having purchased tickets online 1 week ago to visit the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Neither of them were aware of the government shutdown, and when the Washington deadlock was explained to them, they rolled their eyes. In Washington, open-air parks and monuments remained open despite the shutdown. The Smithsonian Institution was also open, but its museums and the National Zoo will close on Monday if lawmakers still have not reached a deal, according to a statement. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The only nation where this regularly happens concludes that there's no way to prevent this. A college rape victim is pretty thrilled about recounting her assault to a faculty committee, and the nation's depressed individuals march on the Atlantic Ocean. This is the Onion Week in Review. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Eric Shinseki announced plans this week to improve healthcare for American veterans with a new $500 million state-of-the-art waiting room. The 150,000 square foot complex will reportedly feature a wide selection of magazines, 2 water coolers, and receptionists who will immediately give veterans vague answers about how long they can expect to sit there before receiving inadequate healthcare. And in this week's commentary, a local man finds owning a cat is a great way to meet women who magically appear in your living room. In other news, a new study finds employee morale drastically improves after watching a coworker throw a fit. A wise oracle proclaims to all at a barbecue that he felt a raindrop, and an elderly man is hailed as alert.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You may join us here on the radio waves. Take control of those airwaves. Bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is lrn.fm, so feel free to reach us there. We also have the Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm. And in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Will.
Johnny Ray.
Of course, you can bring up anything you want. We go to David in New Mexico. He's on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Hey. Yeah, really disappointed. I went to that disco.lrn.fm and no lights, no music.
It's cute.
No, nothing.
It's discord.lrn.fm.
Oh,
but that is funny.
That was yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Just to help you out on the history. First of all, that Mexican, Britain, U.S., Mexican, German, Nazi thing you're talking about. I believe that what happened is that the Brits were tapping American telegraph stuff, and the Brits were doing the tapping, and they received the message that the German telegraphed to the Mexicans that to try to set that backstab up, and the Mexicans didn't want to go along with it, but the Brits had a dilemma because they didn't want us to know that they were intercepting messages and decoding stuff, and I'm sure I'm getting something wrong in there, but that's part of that what happened there.
All right.
And I had the state police here to begin an investigation into the lawyer I know about stealing money from the taxpayers, but I wanted to hold off on that because there's something more timely. You were talking about earlier, tie into what you're talking about, oil and gas. New Mexico's big oil and gas. 1/3 of the state budget comes from oil and gas extraction. and such. And our our current U.S. Congressman Steve Pierce, who is not leaving that position and running for governor in the next election on the Republican side. Before he went into politics, he had made something like $20 million off oil and gas field services, supplying tools and stuff, dealing with the like the salt water you're talking about earlier, anything that's needed for the oil field, and he'd made like $20 million. But since he's been congressman, I'm his constituent. I live in his district. He comes on the local radio stations with high regularity. In fact, many politicians in the state of New Mexico do. And as you know, most other radio stations that are not like yours, they tend to be in bed with the politicians because they want they want them to come in and be happy, and because then that's the radio station's content, and they sell advertising, and everybody gets what they want.
Except for the people who actually want to have like news that challenges the politicians, people that actually want to have the media do their job and actually be, out there to critique and to question rather than to just go along with. But yes, I see what you mean. Everybody at the radio station is happy because they're getting their political, buddies in there on the air. It makes them sound like they're important. If they can have the police chief or the mayor or whoever on, and then, of course, the police chief or the mayor makes them feel important, and they like that. The advertisers, they don't care as long as people are listening. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to listen to like local talk show hosts and even national ones just fall all over themselves to worship politicians.
Right. Yeah. And so this morning was another event like that. They had this Steve Pierce guy on there, and they the radio stations, like I said, other than yours, they have different techniques that they use to stiff arm people that actually ask hard hitting, tough questions of the politician guests that come on there.
Sure.
So they've done everything from, they literally have a blacklist at this one particular station. Well, three stations, I'm collecting them, where they literally blacklist me. And then there are some hosts that don't abide by that blacklist. But what they do is they use other tricks like, even though you're the first one to call in, they leave you all the way until they run out of time before they get to your question, so you don't get a chance to answer. And every once in a while I get a question, but for 3 years in a row, I was able to question this guy on questions that he couldn't answer, and they were very basic. They were on the U.S. Constitution. I mean, the dude's a congressman. He should know basic things about the Constitution. And then I asked him specifically about family law stuff, and he tried to dodge that one with that family law doesn't have anything to do with the federal government. Well, your fundamental rights are federal rights. And anyway, the last time that I had asked him a question on the air, he was so fed up with me that I won't say anything you have to bleep, but he said the full word. He said that David, you're full of S, and they didn't and they didn't bleep it in time, and so it actually went out over the air. This many-year U.S. Congressman Steve Pierce, Republican from New Mexico, got I was able to
That's a feather under your cap, man. Congratulations on that, David. I appreciate the call and the story tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE.
We got a guy like that back in Knoxville called Kenny Kelly.
Who'll call out.
Oh, he calls out everybody, and like he's really not well liked.
He's a caller. He's not a host.
No, he's a caller, and he like this guy here, you know, and he calls out the politicians. He calls out the hosts. I remember one time, there's like this really touchy-feely good kind of like Muslim guy that they have come on the afternoon talk radio show. Mm-hmm. They don't allow people to call in and ask him questions and that kind of stuff. And he's just there to be like I'm not a bigot. See, I've got a Muslim friend. And Kenny calls in after they're off and like tells them that he wants to ask this other guest a question, and then they let him on the air, and like he just lets him have it. He's like, this guy's the Libertarian Party vice presidential candidate. He's been a community leader in this state for 6 years now, and you guys won't even let him on the air to ask questions. I mean, like he gave them both barrels, and they were just like, didn't know how to react to it. And then that's what he does. He calls daytime shows, nighttime shows. He'll pretend to be other people.
That's great.
Whatever he's got to do to get in. And like, I mean, he's coming with everything he's got, and he don't mind cussing on the air if he gets a little too excited. And I mean, he gets crazy, and at the very least, he's entertaining to listen to.
Sounds like it. So if you want to join us here, you can. You can call anybody out here. We don't care. We don't mind being challenged. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. In the very beginning of the show tonight, we were talking about the Venezuelan Petro, which is the purported cryptocurrency that is supposedly going to be coming out at some point and will ostensibly be backed by a barrel of oil, according to the government of Venezuela. The story coming from the CNBC.com, where a sovereign analyst for Latin America, Mauro Roca, says the Petro is not a crypto. It's more of an IOU from the Republic backed with oil reserves, or at least so they claim. Amid hyperinflation and tens of billions in unsustainable debt, quote, the country is having serious problems extracting oil, so it will be difficult that these IOUs retain much value. I don't know if it's that they have problems extracting oil. There's plenty of oil in Venezuela. What we had read previously, and I don't claim to be an expert on these matters, but we do read a thing or two about Venezuela from time to time here on Free Talk Live, and there was a story about how they have oil, but they just can't ship the oil because they're shipping their frigates or whatever they are that they load the oil onto, the oil tankers. They are not, let's say, shipworthy. They're not international seaworthy. So they haven't done what they need to do to make sure these things have been certified internationally in order to actually leave the borders, if you will, the international waters around Venezuela. So they're not allowed to, they've got the oil, they just can't ship it to where they need to, or they don't have enough ships to get enough of it out there. That's one of the problems because, again, it's just government mismanagement of the resources that they have stolen from the people there. The Venezuelan government for a long time has been nationalizing industries there, has been literally just stealing whole companies and industries from people.
Since they're socialists, I say they take over the bananacoin.io page and just change it to bananarepubliccoin.io, and it'll be perfect.
The toll-free, they can pay for it with Bolivar.
And bananas.
The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. You can bring up what you want. I wonder what a bunch of bananas costs these days in Bolivar. Probably quite a bit. We'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts on Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You may join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, 855-450-3733. We got an update. We're continuing here on Venezuela and their crypto, or what they're calling is a crypto, but some people are saying is absolutely not. Of course, nobody really knows yet because it's not out there yet. They haven't released it, and you better believe they're probably not going to be releasing the source code if they ever do get this thing out there, because governments don't like transparency. So that's my prediction, that this will not be a crypto currency, and it will certainly not be available for you to audit via an open source code.
I think part of the story with Venezuela and crypto is they are an energy, their country is built on the energy industry and oil, and they subsidize their citizens' energy use relatively heavily. And that has caused crypto to be popular in Venezuela, cryptographic or Bitcoin mining and so forth.
That's true.
The biggest, maybe the only cost for mining a crypto is the energy it costs you. And if those people are getting...
There's the equipment cost, but yes, the ongoing is certainly the energy.
Right. And if their energy is being subsidized, I've read on some of the crypto forums that Bitcoin Cash, for example, is catching on in Venezuela, and it's because of the subsidies that the government provides. So if they see that some kind of nascent threat from cryptocurrencies coming, then they might be trying to forestall it by saying, well, forget about that. Look at what we've got here.
Yeah.
We won't arrest you if you're mining this one.
Right.
Because they will arrest you if they catch you mining Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, because basically it's unauthorized use of the government's power in that particular case.
Well, that's what you're seeing in a lot of these countries that are dealing with massive poverty or massive unemployment. They have this subsidy on electricity. They're mining. You've got Egyptians mining Ethereum is huge in Egypt. China, same thing. Your choices
they have to shut down now.
You can go work in the sweatshop for 12 cents an hour, or you can mine Bitcoin. Well, what are you going to do? I mean, come on. In Venezuela, you can stand in the bread line, or you can mine Bitcoin Cash. Well, I mean, what are you going to do?
We'll tell you more about what's going on with Venezuela in moments. But first, we go to Dwayne, listening in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hello, Dwayne.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Welcome to the program. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, thank you for having me. I just want to say, first of all, I appreciate the work you're doing. I am a first-time and brand-new listener, and probably will be the last time, because I've never in my vehicle at this time of night on Sunday. But I just happened to tune in to you, and I'm enjoying the show so far, so I hope I do get to hear again.
Well, the good news is we're going to be on there on both days on the weekend on that station that cannot yet be announced officially in Chattanooga, but is a big, awesome station, and we're looking forward to finally announcing it. But yeah, when they come on officially, which should be probably this week, we'll give you all a big welcome next weekend. But yeah, you're going to get Free Talk Live there on Saturday and Sunday nights, and we'll be live, I believe, for all 3 hours that we do each night. But anyway, what did you want to comment about tonight?
Well, again, I want to say I have no idea who and what I'm listening to, and it's rather refreshing because I don't know what your political persuasions are. So that's good for me that I can just sit here and listen to, with an open mind and unbiased, just being a listener. And so you were talking earlier about the idea that the local government in Blount County, and of course I'm in Chattanooga, so not all that far away. I'm very familiar with Cates Cove. I realize this is a national show, and there may be a lot of listeners that has no idea what Cates Cove is, but talking about the county wanted to purchase Cates Cove property from the federal government, and I think on one side of my brain, I think, well, that would not be such a bad idea, and then on the other side of my brain, I'm looking at some similar developments where I've seen in the Chattanooga area, and not too distant areas, where local government take over from a federal agency, and that only places, even though there's been much good, a Volkswagen plant being built or whatever, but with something what I would call a national treasure like Cates Cove, it could go very well for a while, but all it would take is very simply for there to be a change of that local government, and the next thing you know, Cates Cove becomes an industrial park. Not to say that couldn't happen with it being a national park. It can still be shut down and still become an industrial park. But it's much less likely to happen than it would be in a
You think
local
so?
government.
I mean, because the local guys are a little more accountable than the federal guys are. So if the local guys start to mess with something that people treasure, they're going to be all over them.
You also have to completely forget what the federal government has done to East Tennesseans already via the TWRA and the TVA. I grew up in the Loudon, Blount, Campbell, in that severe area, and I looked at the skeletons of farms that were literally taken at gunpoint from locals so that they could first just decide not to do anything with the land and then go, oh, well, you know what? Let's turn it into a toxic waste dump. Literally some of the best farmland on the face of the earth. And the federal government's idea was we're going to steal it, and then when we can't figure out what to do with it, we're just going to pour toxic waste from Y12 and the Oak Ridge National Laboratories there. And then somebody said, well, wait, no, hold on. Let's flood it and build another dam literally 700 yards from the Loudon Dam, and then we'll sell all that land that we bought for $33 an acre or less.
Is that cheap?
And for Tennessee farmland, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll sell it to developers, and they'll sell it for $250,000 for half of an acre, and we'll all get stinking rich. So, no, I'm sorry. I've seen what the federal government does with the land that they take from Tennesseans. My family is from Cates Cove. We were among those people that the federal government under Teddy Roosevelt literally came in and threw people off of their farms to create Cates Cove. So, no, I'm sorry. I've seen what the federal government does to East Tennesseans, and
Can't trust them.
You can't trust them, no.
Go ahead,
like I said, I grew up around the skeletons of what they do.
I don't disagree at all. I've watched the same. Well, I didn't watch it. I'm 56 years old, but the TVA did pretty much the same thing you're describing in building the dams on the Tennessee River. My grandfather was an engineer with TVA at the time, and was involved in the building of every one of the dams on the Tennessee River. And in fact, he was a foreman at Oak Ridge at the time of the building of the atomic bomb. So I agree. I'm very much in tune with what the federal government can do. I'm just saying that I would like to think, and perhaps I'm just snowed, now I'm just stuttering, but I'm saying that I think the smaller government could do something that the federal government might not be able to do.
Look,
at least
I'm with you,
over the
man.
long
I don't
haul.
trust any government. Okay, I'm with you on that. I think that the smaller governments are more likely to be accountable than the bigger governments are. So, meaning that the mayor and the city council members, they actually probably live somewhere nearby the people that they're taking advantage of, whereas the DC people don't live anywhere nearby us.
I can't go, and this will come from the very biased brain of myself. I'm still active duty in the military of 35 years, so I can't say that I don't trust our government. I think I want to be very actively involved in holding our government, be it federal or local,
No doubt. I think the best way you can do that, and Dwayne, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you, is to not have the government take over the park, but to sell it off to somebody who actually cares about it, like a private organization. More coming up.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up anything you want. Toll free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, so Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Tonight in the studio, you've got Ian,
Will,
and Johnny Ray.
We're going to your calls and your thoughts, but I do want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. You want to learn about cryptocurrency? The best place to start is learning about the first one, Bitcoin. Over at Bitcoin.com, they will give you the lowdown, the details, and if you want to get really deep, you can go and get the latest news headlines as well to learn about the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency at news.bitcoin.com. There's a lot of great features at Bitcoin.com, but get started if you've never, even lifted a finger to research Bitcoin. It's a great place to get started. If you're old school and you want to get the latest news, go there too. News.bitcoin.com for the news headlines and Bitcoin.com to get started. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, we go to Skype, where David is on the line in Arizona. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Ian, Will, and John. Great hearing the show tonight.
Thanks.
I just want to call in about one of these phony baloney things where the government tries to, barricade everybody out of, so-called public facilities in order to, to force you to put pressure on Congress to restore funding. We have a local I'm down here on the border in Nogales, Arizona. The nearest big city is Tucson, Arizona. There's a recreation area called Sabino Canyon. And of course, Tucson is a desert, and this is the only place where you can go walk along a stream where there's actual water. So everybody in Tucson goes there on the weekends. This place has now been barricaded and shut down by the USDA. And I don't think anybody was even aware that the federal government had anything to do with the facility. But there's a big parking lot where everybody parks to go into the facility. USDA has put four-wheel drive pickup trucks across the entrance, blocked it off, and they have forest rangers with guns standing there keeping people from parking in the facility.
Now, hold on, just to clarify. Just to clarify, David, is this happening just this weekend due to the supposed government shutdown, or has this been going on before that?
No, it's for this, and they've even put up a sign. They've put up a sign that said, "We are going to keep this recreation area shut down until Congress restores funding." And they've actually taped up a sign that says that. Now, what people are doing is ignoring it. They're parking on the county road where there's a bunch of no parking signs from the county, just a normal no parking area. And then people, the local news is showing old ladies in walkers just walking this long route to get into this place. They're walking past the barricades. And what they're trying to do is say you can't park in this big paved parking lot that's at the trailhead. And there's like some restrooms there. There's no employees there on the weekend anyway. It's just like restrooms and whatnot.
Right.
So the people are walking past this empty parking lot that's barricaded with these federal government four-wheel drive vehicles, walking up the trail anyway. They're not allowing any vehicles in there. And the sign says that the whole recreation facility is shut down, but people are going in anyway. So.
I love it. But wait, didn't you say they had armed guards?
I was about to say, they don't have money to pay people to run the park, but they've got money to pay federal agents to stand there with machine guns.
Well, this is the way the federal government does a shutdown. They designate certain people as essential. I used to be part of the machine. I was the head of the DEA office for this part of the country. And what they do is designate certain people as essential employees, including law enforcement. So even though there's nobody there on the weekend, on a normal weekend, there are now federal cops standing there to just make sure nobody drives past the barricades.
I wonder which costs more. What costs more? The guy who stands there and like punches your ticket as you drive through the gate, and like the girl who sells you like a stuffed trout in the little gift shop, or the federal agent with a machine gun? Which one costs the taxpayer more in this? We don't have them. We can't fund it. We don't have a budget, but we're going to pay somebody. I bet it's like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, yeah. So that's what Daryl said on Wednesday night or Friday night or whatever, was that they spend way more money actually closing these areas than they do leaving them open. No, I guess I'm confused. If there are men with machine guns there, why are they still allowing people to cross the barricades? Is it just that they don't want vehicles in the park?
Do you want to be the guy with the machine gun that stops the old lady in a walker?
They would do it. They would do it.
Well, they're kind of splitting hairs. They don't really have the facility to shut down the federal land because it accesses a whole mountainside, which is actually so-called public land. Mm-hmm. So what they've done is they've designated the facility that's at the entrance to the trailhead where the big paved parking lot is. The restrooms are there. They've designated that facility as closed, and yet the little handwritten sign they put up says this recreation facility is closed until Congress restores funding, and so they're not. They know they can't keep people off the federal land. So they just
close the parking area, basically. They close the parking area,
yeah,
but they're not stopping anybody from actually walking onto the property.
Right. So they put barricades across the whole entrance to the park and vehicles across that, so nobody can drive in, but they're parking on the county road, walking past the barricades and past this big empty parking area. Yep. They have news reporters showing how it's all empty and going in anyway.
And how much you want to bet those guys with the machine guns are getting paid overtime?
Oh yeah. For sure, because they wouldn't be there otherwise. Right. on a Sunday.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be out there.
Hey, thanks for sharing that story, David. Anything else you want to throw out there tonight?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call tonight.
You'll
have to call in another time with DEA stories. If you were the head of the DEA out there, I'm sure you've got some stories to tell, but not tonight. Thanks for the call tonight, though. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I'm presuming that he is no longer in favor of the job that he used to do, given the fact that he's calling this show. So I think that would make for interesting content.
I don't know. Maybe he's gathering intel.
I'm not sure what intel he would have gathered from that phone call, but either way, we will see maybe in the future. If you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We've got Skype as well, as he just used. Skype username is lrn.fm, and we've got the Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm, where you can get in the on-air call-in line there. We were talking earlier about Venezuela and what they're calling a cryptocurrency, but skeptics are saying, there's no way it's going to be a cryptocurrency. This is the government we're talking about.
Well, they call Ripple a cryptocurrency.
Who calls it that, though? I mean, I guess
the people that you and I know.
It's a coin. It's a digital currency.
It's listed on your favorite website, coinmarketcap.com.
Yeah. That's true.
Fed.gov.coin.
That's true.
I don't know what parameters they have for that. They've also got Tether on there.
Yeah. and so this Petro, which doesn't exist yet, is supposedly coming, and I hope that nobody buys it. I hope that people will stay away from this, because you're ultimately going to just enrich the government of Venezuela with your real cryptocurrency. Because if they put this up on an exchange, and then you're trading Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that for this.
Well, as long as you're trading U.S. dollar tethers for it, it's just fake money for fake money.
Well, you decide how to handle this, but to me, I would feel like I had blood on my hands if I had any of these Petros.
Yeah, I could
personally.
If I owned it, it would be for the novelty of it, and then you would have to. That's what I was saying the other day on my own show. Was I'd love to have some for the novelty.
Yeah.
But you would have to.
That blood don't come out.
Yeah, exactly. You can buy these from people you don't know that aren't actually there.
Right. You're showing on our wall here that we've got the $10 trillion, I believe, from Zimbabwe. $10 trillion note, and also a 50. There are two. No, it's a 2 Bolivar. It's a 2 Bolivar note there with the dolphins on it.
Yeah.
We've got a little fiat currency here.
Yeah,
on the wall.
and again, it would be kind of like owning one of these joke fiats from Zimbabwe and like that kind of stuff. But like you said, this actually is helping that government at this point. These are just dollars that somebody smuggled out,
right? Which means they are actually being helped by you purchasing them, because what happened when Daryl bought. Actually, somebody sent us those Zimbabwe notes. Daryl actually bought a package of dozens and dozens of 2 Bolivar and 50 Bolivar notes, and he paid $10 for it. And I think that included shipping. I don't know, maybe $10 plus shipping. But that's $10 that's going to feed a family in Venezuela for probably a month.
Yeah.
And
so instead of helping with buying the paper notes, you're helping families. Buying the crypto notes, you're helping the people that are hurting the family.
Exactly. The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You bring up what you want on the Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
After the USDA unveiled its updated roommate food pyramid earlier this week, Department of Agriculture spokesman Michael Lowry spoke to Onion reporters about just how many servings of someone else's food roommates should be consuming on a day-to-day basis.
Under the new guidelines, roommates should eat at least 4 portions of someone else's grains per day, including 1 to 2 cups of already opened cereal. Of course, this is all in addition to the 8 to 16 swigs of milk and orange juice spaced out over a few days.
Lowry emphasized that many aspects of the new roommate food pyramid are unchanged from the previous version, including a recommended daily intake of 24 ounces of lunch meat straight from the bag and 5 to 7 weekly finger scoops of Erica's peanut butter.
Remember to limit your intake of sugar and sweets from half-open containers, especially if they're Jessica's, because she'll definitely notice.
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything here. Live Sunday edition of the program. You dial in toll-free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Here in the studio with you, it's Ian.
Will.
And Johnny Ray.
We're talking about the Venezuelan government's plan to release their own, what they're calling, or some are calling, a cryptocurrency. I don't know if the Venezuelan government has even been so brazen as to call it that, but they have called it the Petro. And they're claiming that each Petro that they issue will be backed by a barrel of oil from the country, which, of course, runs its own oil company as well and has for decades. And they've managed to run that company into the ground, so to speak. They aren't even successfully able to distribute their oil all around the globe these days due to just abject failures of operations. Because governments, even though they've got access to a tremendous resource that's worth a lot of money, even the government can screw that one up too. Because the government kind of pretty much screws up everything that they put their hands on, which is why this Petro is likely destined to be an absolute disaster. And so besides the fact that you're going to be enriching one of the world's worst and oppressive governments if you buy the Petro, there's also the fact that even if you do buy it, it may fall to zero just simply because of mismanagement and it being a government currency. Although that said, if they do actually come out with the Petro, if it does actually come to fruition, then I think that would actually make the Venezuelan government like the first government with its own kind of crypto digital currency like that.
I'm not aware of any other.
Yeah,
neither am I.
So I mean, if they can actually do it, it will be to some extent kind of impressive if it actually works. Which again, it's the government, so I wouldn't get my hopes up for that. Analysts, according to CNBC, have echoed these assessments, saying that Petro isn't a cryptocurrency that would be accepted by most, if not any, external entities. Raul Gallegos, the associate director at international consultancy Control Risks, said, quote, "It is unlikely that this made-up currency will be accepted by any company or bank in lieu of cash." Now, of course, I think that's an interesting thing to say, given that the bolivar is also a made-up currency, just like all government monies all around the world are made-up currencies. So, I mean, on the scale of currencies, calling this one a made-up currency really doesn't set it apart from all of the rest of the world's made-up currencies, but those have been around for a while, so people don't think of them in the same way. If actually the Petro really does have an oil barrel behind it, and if it were to actually be redeemable for that oil barrel, which again, I don't believe that it is, but if it were those things, then that would actually make it more real than the bolivar, given that the bolivar, which is the country's official currency, is backed by absolutely nothing. And that's why the bolivar has been shooting up in its per dollar amount. So meaning that you can trade a U.S. dollar for now over 200,000 bolivar. And the last time we looked at those numbers, it was at around 100,000.
If the solution to Venezuela's problems is just to back a fiat with their oil, then why don't they just do like America does with the petrodollars in Saudi Arabia and back their paper fiat with oil?
Because it's easier to trade cryptocurrencies? I mean, if indeed it can get on exchanges or whatever, if it can.
So basically, it's just a get-rich-quick scheme for
that's
the Venezuelan
absolutely
government.
what it is.
Okay.
I mean, come on. They're so in debt. They are so screwed financially. This is a way for them to
So
possibly
they think they'll
get
be like
some
the
money.
next XLR. They'll be the next Stellar Lumens. They'll be the next big coin.
I don't know.
Scam coin.
I don't
Scam
know,
coins.
I don't know if they think they're going to be the next big one, but if they can get billions of dollars in for this, then they'd be happy about that.
I'd love to get the developers on the show.
Somehow I doubt they're making public appearances. Let's see here. Gallegos, a Colombia-based author who recently wrote a detailed account of Venezuela's mismanagement of its oil wealth called Crude Nation, told CNBC the Petros could become a vehicle that could be used to secretly move cash out of a collapsing economy and convert it into foreign currency. Quote, so it'll become a money laundering tool for well-connected people with the current and former regime of deceased President Hugo Chavez, which, as we'd pointed out before, if this thing does become real and it does become possible on certain exchanges to actually trade in this thing, then that would basically mean that the Venezuelan government will be exchanging this, questionable, crappy, likely cryptocurrency for real valuable cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others that they can then hold on to and have them accumulate wealth because of that. So
it's
this
the Ripple scam. I'm
yeah,
sure they
right. It's a big
learned
wealth transfer.
Yeah, they learned it from Ripple. I mean, I'm
and
sure
now
they
the
did.
Ripple's down. By the way, the Ripple
Good.
price, what it was, it peaking at like $3-4. It's now like $1.20.
Burn it to the ground.
So for those that don't know, the Ripple thing is what? What is Ripple?
Fed.gov.coin. Oh, well, it's basically it's connecting the cryptocurrency industry to the big banks.
As I understand it, the pitch behind Ripple is that it will allow big banks to transmit money to one another without having to go through the Federal Reserve System.
Yeah.
So, in theory, it's not a bad idea. I mean, as far as like, I would like the banks to be able to move money faster. I think that's a good thing.
You have to trust some of the biggest thieves in world history, though. You know,
well, I don't have to. I don't have to trust them because I'm not buying it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're buying into this BS idea about Ripple, then you have literally you're saying, I think that if you give a crackhead rock and a lighter and a glass pipe and leave him in a room by himself, he won't smoke it.
Well, I don't know if it's a BS idea. I mean, Ripple itself as an idea, there's nothing inherently wrong with the idea of having a bank-to-bank currency that makes it easier for banks to move money around. It makes it easier for the banks to avoid having to go through the more centralized, or maybe it's not that much more centralized, but the government version of this, which is the ACH wire transfer system that takes a long time and is slow and shut down on weekends. So if it's true that Ripple does what it says it's going to do, which is this intermediary between banks as far as shuffling money around, that's a good thing. I don't see that as a bad thing.
But it's competing with the Federal Reserve, and you and I both know that if it's competing with the Federal Reserve,
they won't stand for it.
Yeah, it's more than likely owned by the Federal Reserve. It's not, or they'd be out there freaking out and trying to burn the whole thing down right now.
There's a chance of that. I don't know.
Instead, they're attacking Bitcoin. Why aren't they attacking Ripple?
Yeah, good question on that one. I think that Ripple is a private company, but that doesn't mean the Federal Reserve doesn't have its fingers into it in some way. The scam with Ripple, just to clarify, isn't that it's helping banks move money around. Great. I mean, and from what I've heard, the banks actually haven't even signed on to that yet, but in theory, that's what it's supposed to do. That's not the scam. The scam is fleecing people with a manipulated currency, which is what Ripple is. It's centrally controlled. It's not a decentralized cryptocurrency at all, even though it's listed on the list of cryptocurrencies. The scam is that they can extract real cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum from people trading for Ripple on the hopes that Ripple's going to, it's going to take off. Over the last few months, it shot up in its price big time, and there's all these people that are super excited about it, like people who consider themselves libertarians, who see the Federal Reserve as a bad thing, who see the sort of monopolistic banking system or oligopolistic banking system as a bad thing, but yet even they are, in some cases, not even holding their nose. They're just diving right in head first. Promoting it as though this is a way to make money off the big banks. We're going to show them. No, they're going to show you, because they're just taking your Bitcoin, giving you this Ripple thing. Then they can manipulate the supply of Ripple in order to control the price, to basically extract wealth from people, right?
Yep.
That's what the scam is.
At least that's how I see it. That's what I see is happening. Is they want you to buy their Fed.gov.coin with your good cryptocurrencies. They want you to take your Zen coin, which is private and has a value because of the value it adds. The value it adds to the market for people like me who want to keep my transactions and nobody else's. My eyes on my transactions and nobody else's. It's not your business or anybody else's business who I send and what I send it to, and none of that. They want me to take my good crypto and give it to them for Fed.gov.coin.
Right, and after you'd already gotten out of the federal government's money.
Exactly. Here's what I'm going to say. If you're going to buy this crap, then what you do is use U.S. dollar tethers, because at least then you're trading crap for crap.
But, right, you've already traded into those things, so you're better off getting out of the dollar tethers and getting back into some real cryptocurrency.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to use dollar tethers to buy something, buy real crypto with it. But if you must buy the Ripple scam, then, use centrally controlled fiat to buy centrally controlled fiat.
If you want to join us here, you're welcome to share your thoughts at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Regardless of whether the country is able to ride a wave of enthusiasm for cryptocurrencies, Venezuela's downward spiral is continuing unabated. Last year, inflation topped an estimated 2,700%. And based on data gathered from Oxford Economics, the country's GDP contracted 7.6% in 2017 with no relief in sight. You got people out in fields slaughtering cattle out in the open just trying to eat in Venezuela. There's more coming up here on Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, January 21st, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.02 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,332 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $12,137. Antiwar.com reports the newest U.S. national defense strategy, the first since 2014, appears to set out a major shift in the focus of America's massive military and its endless wars, with officials now saying that the global wars on terror, while continuing, will no longer be the prime focus of U.S. national security. Instead, Defense Secretary James Mattis says the new strategy will put the primary focus of the U.S. military engaging in power competition with other great powers, with Russia and China apparently the targets. The great power conceit is a very 19th century concept based around the idea that certain countries have uniquely great influence and authority worldwide. Historically, the great powers tend to view everyone else as pawns to be used in broader global strategies, which establish the great powers' pecking order with respect to one another. That these nations are all major nuclear powers makes direct conflict hopefully unthinkable, but the U.S. apparently still envisions committing its massive military to the task of repeatedly one-upping and needling them, largely for the sake of competition.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports hundreds of thousands took to the streets across the United States and abroad on Saturday to mark the one-year anniversary of the Women's March, which is Sunday. Also on the anniversary of the inauguration of President Donald Trump, the marches also drew people wanting to express dissatisfaction with Trump, particularly his recent criticism of immigrants from Haiti, El Salvador, and African nations. Rallies were held in Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, and hundreds of cities elsewhere across the country. Thousands of protesters in Washington Washington heard speeches from Democratic legislators, including House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi of California. Other events happened abroad in Beijing, Buenos Aires, Nairobi, and Rome. Marches under the social media banner #Weekend of Women are also scheduled for Sunday. The rally in Washington happened amid a government shutdown that began at midnight. Activists met in front of the Lincoln Memorial before heading to the White House carrying signs boasting slogans that include "Grab him by the midterms." Other signs supported reproductive, immigration, and healthcare rights. Despite the visible rebukes of his policies and statements, Trump referred to the marches as a celebration, touting a relatively low female unemployment rate during his time in office. Trump said, "Beautiful weather all over our great country, a perfect day for all women to march. Get out there now to celebrate the historic milestones and unprecedented economic success and wealth creation that has taken place over the last 12 months. Lowest female unemployment in 18 years.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports tourists who came to Battery Park in Lower Manhattan hoping to catch a ferry to see the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor got an unpleasant surprise on Saturday, learning the must-see destination was closed because of the U.S. government shutdown. The National Park Service announced on Friday afternoon it would close the historic statue and nearby Ellis Island to visitors if Congress failed to reach a funding deal by midnight. Apparently, not everyone got the word. An Argentine exchange student came to Battery Park at the southern tip of Manhattan with a friend, having purchased tickets online 1 week ago to visit the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Neither of them were aware of the government shutdown, and when the Washington deadlock was explained to them, they rolled their eyes. In Washington, open-air parks and monuments remained open despite the shutdown. The Smithsonian Institution was also open, but its museums and the National Zoo will close on Monday if lawmakers still have not reached a deal, according to a statement. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A new report from the National Center for Education shows that an alarming 10% of U.S. high school students graduate without basic object permanence skills. According to the study, a growing number of American seniors are lagging behind their international counterparts when it comes to the crucial knowledge that things don't just disappear if you're not looking at them.
Because it exists even if your eyes can't see it. Am I making sense?
No. U.S. high schoolers have dropped to 17th in science, 25th in math, and a troubling 180th place in the basic cognitive awareness most humans develop as toddlers. Secretary of Education Arnie Duncan is asking Congress to fund increased after-school disguise and reveal programs.
It's time to get the kids excited to learn the most obvious mental concepts that make us capable of functioning.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do better. It's just I don't know how I'm supposed to learn anything if I don't even have a teacher.
I'm still here, Vanessa.
Some educators worry that too much focus placed on object permanence might take away from other important skills, such as not touching hot things that could burn you.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and of course, you can bring up what you want as we launch here into the third hour of this live Sunday edition of the program. The toll-free number tonight is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733, and you may Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. Also, you can join us on the Discord on-air call-in line. Just go to discord.lrn.fm to get in there. And the Discord chat rooms are going around the clock, so there's people in there now, and there's other people in there later as well. With you tonight, you've got Ian.
Will. And Johnny Ray.
For those of you just tuning in, we've been talking about everything from the Venezuelan currency, the Petro, the digital currency that is expected to come out at some point within the next quarter of a year. I mean, they originally were claiming earlier in January. It was then said it was going to be 6 weeks. So, of course, you know, it's the government. I mean, most programmers are going to miss a deadline. So, I mean, the government's definitely going to miss its deadlines because it's the government. But we were just kind of talking about how basically this sounds like a massive wealth transfer scheme on the part of the Venezuelan government in the hopes that they can catch a ride on this cryptocurrency wave of billions upon hundreds of billions of dollars. Right now, the total market cap of the cryptocurrency universe is over 500 billion US dollars worth of it. So there's a lot of cryptocurrency out there. There's a lot of money to be made. And so the Venezuelan government's trying to get a piece of that action, just like the banks are trying to get a piece of it through the Ripple currency that you were talking about earlier, Will. And a little bit more here about what's been going on in Venezuela. It's been a while since we've talked about the situation over there. As I mentioned to you earlier, the current exchange rate, according to dollartoday.com, this is something we've been following here on this program since back when it was like 10,000 or 4,000 or something like that per bolivar per U.S. dollar. I'm trying to remember what the first amount was that we talked about a couple years ago when we first started following this pretty closely. But it's now over 200,000, 211,337 bolivar per U.S. dollar. And like a month ago, it was at 100,000. So, I mean, the inflation rate is so intense. It's so heavy over there. I mean, you literally have to recalculate prices every single day over there. If you're still one of the few people who actually remains in business and your business hasn't been shut down by government takeover or random mobs of marauders coming in and just stealing all your stuff.
Injecting fiat capital into an economy can give the appearance of creating actual capital the same way that pouring water into milk can create the appearance of more milk.
Yeah, it's you can watch from the outside, and if you're there, then man, it cannot be any fun to be in Venezuela these days. So a little bit more here from the first story that we were sharing from CNBC about the Petro and sort of the situation that it's coming into there, where there are severe shortages of food, medicine, and consumer goods, which has led to examples of Venezuelans scavenging trash for food, some dying of hunger, and a great many dying from basic ailments and treatable diseases. Because again, if you got an infection, good luck finding antibiotics in Venezuela.
And if you can, good luck buying them with their worthless money.
Yeah, exactly. Some dying of hunger. Let's see here. So this is a few reasons why global investors are running scared from the country. And another reason why is because the government nationalizes industries there. So why would you, if you were an investor, why would you want to invest in a new industry or a new business when you know there's a good chance that Nicolas Maduro is just going to swoop on in there after you've put in however much money into building a factory or whatever it is you need to put together with your capital investments, and then they just have the government take it, and it's gone. So why would anybody do that? That's one reason why you're not seeing any investment going into Venezuela. And the other is that even if you did get a business up and running, it's almost impossible to run it legally, with the government's exchange rates being what they are, where the government tries to and does force exchange rates on people of $1 US dollar to 10 bolivar. So that's what the government says their bolivar is worth. You can trade your US dollar at a bank and get 10 bolivar for it. Or if you know the people in the black market, you can trade your dollar and get 200,000 bolivar for it. So that's the discrepancy between reality, which is the 200,000 price, and the fantasy, which is the government's 10 bolivar price. Maduro is widely expected to run for re-election this year and is likely expected to win under disputed circumstances, yet his government will struggle in the next year as Venezuela's oil output continues to decline and could dive even further with oil perched near 3-year highs. So even though oil prices are inching up, the regime won't benefit much from the increase, said one of the experts. Russia, which has propped up the Maduro government with assistance, quote, will likely continue to offer a financial lifeline in exchange for sweetheart deals in the oil sector that allows them to expand their footprint in Venezuela's key oil ventures. However, the financial outlook for Venezuela will continue to be dire, and the regime will likely be forced to declare a default on its debt eventually. And they've already been defaulting on their debt payments. We read stories about that within the last year here on Free Talk Live. And, again, if you're one of the organizations or governments of the world holding debt, if you're one of their creditors, you're probably not feeling particularly charitable about giving them another loan at this point, given that, you're not going to take their bolivar as debt payment because that's just insane. You would only want to take something like a euro or a dollar or cryptocurrency, something that's going to hold its value a little bit longer than the bolivar. And of course, the Venezuelan government doesn't have enough dollars to pay its debts. So they are defaulting. And the question is, how many times can they default before, it leads to complete political and financial chaos and ruin? I guess we're going to find out. So stay tuned as we will continue to report to you the absolute disastrous situation down there where, according to TheGuardian.com, headline, "We loot or we die of hunger. Food shortages fuel unrest in Venezuela." You want to see an overthrow of a regime? As long as people are hungry enough, there's a good chance they're going to be motivated to do something. That's why here in the United States, despite the, destructive and awful and evil government that we have, people aren't hungry here. I mean, we're pretty well fed. The economy's...
We throw away food.
Yeah, there's a lot of food that gets thrown away every day here in the U.S.
A lot of people would like you to believe that there are children by the scores going hungry every night.
In the U.S.?
Sure. Have you ever heard of the Ad Council?
Yeah, of course. They run all those filler ads on radio and TV.
Yeah, and very often you'll hear bits on there about how if you get you need to contribute to I'm trying to think of one of the names of the organizations or funds that they're selling here, but basically they're saying that children, 1 in 5 children is going to bed hungry every night in America.
I was about to say, well, maybe 1 in 5 children on Earth is going to bed hungry. Probably more than that, but those children don't live here.
Well, I can believe that 1 out of 5 children didn't eat their dinner, and so therefore they went to bed hungry.
1 in 5 children are angry that they didn't get a cookie before they went to bed.
One in 5 children didn't eat their peas and carrots, so therefore they didn't get dessert, and they went to bed a little bit hungry. That's not the same thing as the hunger, the actual hunger that children are experiencing in Venezuela because their parents can't afford to buy food, or even if they can afford to buy it, they can't find the food to buy because it's just not there. And amid desperate food shortages, Venezuelans are picking up new survival skills. On the night of January 9th, for example, a hungry mob took just 30 minutes to pick clean a grocery store in the eastern city of Puerto Ordaz. By the time owner Luis Felipe Antel arrived at the bodega that he'd opened 5 months earlier, the looters had hauled away everything from cold cuts to ketchup to the cash registers. He said in a telephone interview, quote, "It makes you want to cry. I think we are headed for chaos." Evidence for his prediction can be found in towns and cities across Venezuela that have been hit by an outbreak of looting and mob violence. Angry about empty supermarket shelves and soaring prices, some people are breaking into warehouses, ransacking food trucks, and invading outlying farms. During the first 11 days of January, the Venezuelan Observatory for Social Conflict, a Caracas rights group, recorded 107 episodes of looting and several deaths in 19 of Venezuela's 23 states. But the figures don't fully capture the level of desperation. Recent headlines from Venezuela read like notes from the apocalypse. For instance, on Margarita Island, dozens of people waded into the oceans and forced their way aboard a fishing boat, making off with its catch of sardines. We'll tell you more about the madness in Venezuela. People are getting hungry. That means they're getting desperate. It's Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. We're here. We'll take your calls about what you want on the live Sunday edition. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Will, you're going to share, I think we should probably talk about this on the air at some point here, the latest on Chelsea Manning, who was released from prison after a short 7 years of the 35-year sentence that she was sentenced to for releasing the truth about what the U.S. military was involved in over in the Middle East. She may now be facing more prison time. We'll share that with you coming up here. Your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome, and our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We've got Skype. Skype username is LRN.FM, and you can join us in the Free Talk Live on-air call-in line on Discord, which is where we're going now, where Rat Speed is on the line with us. Hello, Rat Speed.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not realize that Discord was. You might want to hang up on me because Discord is set to use my speakers as.
Oh, no, you sound fine.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we just heard a little bit.
I guess I can hear it a little bit in the back, but it's being cut out mostly. So go ahead with your thoughts, please.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I was going to talk about what I heard a couple of nights ago when the Socialist called in. I was on my way back. Oh, which one? The one that you were talking to for a lengthy time.
The self-avowed one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So I noticed something, and this is what I was going to talk about. So he talked about how Bernie Sanders is under a lot of scrutiny for having worn a $700 suit, whereas, if he's a socialist, he should be wearing a cheaper suit. And it made me start thinking about the nuances that seem to be missed whenever whenever socialism is involved. In other words, for instance, because a suit costs $700, it seems like they're not looking into the detail of what makes an item have a certain value. In other words, is like, sorry, I was a little bit taken aback because I'm trying to get this technical stuff put. Anyway, the point is that I'm trying to make is that I think I've listened to a lot of socialist ideals before, and no matter how appealing they might be upon first hearing, the thing that always gives me alarm bells is that it's never looked at with a fine enough, I guess, resolution is what you could call it, like a philosophical resolution. It's, kind of like I am totally rambling right now.
Well, notes help. Just a quick caller tip: if you make a few notes before you call in, that does help. Help you keep on track. I mean, this is something that I've encountered on a number of occasions. But it sounded to me like you were, criticizing the socialist who was upset at Bernie Sanders. Or no, I guess he wasn't upset, right? Wasn't he making an excuse for Bernie Sanders, like saying, "Oh, he's Bernie, so therefore he should be able to buy a suit"?
Right, but the actual argument itself about the quality of the suit isn't being taken into play. What costs, the cost of it to make. So you end up getting. I mean, everyone would be wearing exactly the same type of suit. It's all about conformity, and
Sure.
in the interest of achieving quote unquote equality. And equality itself does not necessarily mean everyone gets exactly the same thing. I think it's more. People need to look at it from the sense of like the amount of effort that you put into something should fairly bring in an equal return for what you put in. So like if you decide to, let's say, raise the wool yourself and shear it from the sheep and hand worsted suit by yourself, you should be able to have a finer product or a finer quality something, attire to wear. And I think that's the problem is that when it comes to socialism, that just doesn't happen because there's no room for it since everything is being governed by proxy.
Well, right. You don't have the sheep. You don't own the sheep in the first place that you could potentially even shear. The community or the government or whatever owns it. And so somebody else decides what to do with those sheep and what to do with the wool that is come from them, and they will determine whether or not to allocate it in this direction or that direction. And odds are that whatever board of centralized bureaucrats makes these decisions is probably not going to favor you and your plan to make new wool clothing from those sheep. So yeah, I mean, in a socialist situation, you really don't have a say, right? You just kind of get what you get.
Right. And the thing that occurred to me is that when he was talking about that, it seemed like it didn't even occur to him that this might be the case or might be possible. I think the problem is that when people look at socialism, they don't look at the nuanced individualism of the person because they're too interested in looking at equality for all that they don't look at the individual liberty of people and the fact that everyone has a different like I'm on a diet right now, and one diet might work for one person and it might not work for someone else. What I need in my life is what I think I need to determine for myself, and if some other governing body is forcing me to live in a certain way, I might therefore become unequal from them because it's not meeting my needs. And I think there needs to be, and I think that's where libertarianism comes in. It's not so far reaching as anarchy. It's kind of like a middle ground between the social needs of the group, whatever group it might be, the tribe, the community, the nation, whatever you might want to call it, versus the individual needs of each person. And I think it's a matter of scale. I think nationalism in and of itself is a really outdated mode of social organization.
Sure.
Because it's just too big. The more people that one person represents, in other words, if the population skyrockets and you still have, let's say, like a city council of 10 people or Congress or whatever, it doesn't scale. So therefore, the freedoms or the liberties, the democratic freedoms, if you will, can change based off of just the population alone. So I really think that's what really needed to be. Unfortunately, I was on a bus and I couldn't address it a couple of nights ago. Yeah, so I just wanted to call in and make a comment about that.
I appreciate that, Rad Speed, and thank you for calling in here tonight. If you want to join us, you can do that. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. When it comes to socialism, they're not interested in the individual and the individual's rights. The individual's just a tool for the socialist planner. It's just something that they can use to try to mold their society in the direction that they think that it should go. They're a resource, a human resource.
Chattel.
Socialism is a philosophy that plays on people's envy of each other.
Sure, and brings everybody down to the same lowest common denominator. So, it sort of worships the idea of being poor. Like, oh, well, Bernie Sanders should be wearing rags, just like everybody else should, be wearing rags because that's humble. Or something like
I think
that.
It's hilarious that you've got people that try to go out and pertain like a theological point that socialism is somehow righteous when it literally, like he said, is built on covetousness, which is thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. The 10 Commandments is against socialism. Come on.
Toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. We got time for you. You can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. And just enough time for you, 855-450-FREE, or you can call on the on-air call-in line in our Discord, as that gentleman just did, discord.lrn.fm.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do. I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free here, live Sunday edition of the program. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is lrn.fm. Here in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Will.
And Johnny Ray.
Again, Skype username is lrn.fm, and we've got the Discord at discord.lrn.fm, so feel free to join us there. To the phones, to the fun. James is in New Jersey watching us on our YouTube stream. Hello, James.
First of all, I just wanted to apologize for yesterday about hanging up so early, because my parents just came in and they wanted me to get off early, so I just wanted to apologize about that first.
All right, go ahead with your thoughts tonight.
Okay, so I have some facts here if you want to hear them.
Facts, okay. Let's hear some facts.
Okay, the combination of the letters can be pronounced 10 different ways. A-U-G-H.
Okay.
And dreamt is the only English word that ends in MT.
No kidding.
Yes.
All right.
And I have one more. This is going to be a long one. Hippopotamonstrosivquipid dahliaphobia is the fear of long words.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. The call screening software said his topic was sex, so I'm not sure how he got off of that, but regardless.
I did not like hearing those facts.
No? Why? Did they make you uncomfortable?
No, they were boring.
Okay. Well, at least there were only 3 of them.
Yeah.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. We are giving you some information out of Venezuela, according to The Guardian, on how desperate people are getting. One shop owner had his I guess a bodega that he'd opened up just a few months prior, raided by a hungry mob on January 9th. They took 30 minutes and just cleaned out the whole place. He says it makes you want to cry. I think we're headed for chaos. Some of the recent headlines from Venezuela read like notes from the apocalypse. In the city of Maracay, just west of Caracas, thieves broke into a veterinary school, stole 2 pregnant thoroughbred horses, then slaughtered them for meat. A recent video from the western state of Merida shows a group of people cornering a cow before stoning it to death as bystanders yell, "The people are hungry." There have been previous incidents of looting, but analysts fear that the current wave could linger amid the Venezuela economic freefall. President Nicolas Maduro, of course, blames the country's woes on an economic war against his government by right-wingers and foreign interests like the United States government and the guy who runs DollarToday.com. They've actually accused him of being the reason for inflation. The guy who is based in Hoover, Alabama, who runs a website that reports the black market numbers, the prices of the U.S. dollar in Bolivar, the real price of what you can get for a U.S. dollar on the streets. The government has actually accused that man of being the reason for the inflation because he's reporting. Yeah, that happened. Because he's reporting the numbers, they're saying that's what's causing the hyperinflation. It's not their monetary policy. It's all him. His critics say that government has disrupted domestic food production by expropriating farms and factories. Meanwhile, price controls designed to make food more widely available to poorer people, they claim, have had the opposite effect. Many prices have been set below the cost of production, forcing food producers out of business. Because that's what happens in the real world. When your price of your product is below the cost of production, that's unsustainable.
Demand shoots, supply disappears and demand shoots up.
That's right. People are not going to stop being hungry, that's for sure, and now they're getting desperate.
Not in Venezuela, at least.
Meanwhile, the government has less cash to import food because of its mismanagement of the oil sector, where production has fallen to a 29-year low. Hyperinflation and the collapse of the currency have put the price of foodstuffs available on the black market beyond the reach of many families. But rather than reforming the economy, the government has resorted to handouts and far-fetched schemes. A newly formed Ministry of Urban Farming is encouraging people to grow tomatoes and raise chickens on their patios and rooftops. Another campaign encourages Venezuelans to breed rabbits for their table. At a recent news conference, Freddie Bernal, the urban farm minister, declared, quote, "We need people to understand that a rabbit is not a pet. It's 2.5 kilos of meat," unquote. But as they grow thinner, some Venezuelans insist they have a right to take matters into their own hands. That was the case in the western city of Maracaibo, where residents recently swarmed into the streets and stopped 2 trucks filled with flour and candy and emptied them. Quote, "We either loot or we die of hunger," one of the looters, Marioli Corniel, told a local newspaper. Quote, "Sometimes the looting has been spontaneous, but in other cases, the targeting of shops and food trucks appears to have been coordinated via chat groups on Facebook and WhatsApp. Security forces have largely stood by." Although his bodega is located just down the street from a National Guard post, Anatel, the owner, said his pleas for help were ignored. He scoffed at officers' claims that they lacked enough troops to protect businesses. He said, quote, "Wherever there are anti-government protests, they have more than enough tear gas, tanks, and troops to put them down. But for us business people, there is no security."
The one thing that could save Venezuela is setting the people free and giving them the power to save themselves. And that's the one thing that Maduro cannot do and will not do. So instead, they take the money that should be going to the people and they hire people to run the Ministry of Urban Farming.
That's right.
To tell people who would be only too happy to raise rabbits to eat if the government would stop taking everything from them, to tell them that they should do that.
Right. Where are you going to get the rabbit from? You're going to go catch one? Because you can't afford to buy one. So how do you start to breed rabbits if you can't even afford to, rub 2 pennies together at that point? Now, as the shop owner here is pointing out, there's plenty of troops to put down the revolution, but there's no troops to help him out when an angry mob comes and robs his shop, picks it completely clean. He says there's no security for business people, and he's right, because the government of Venezuela also prohibits its people from owning firearms. So even if you have some friends who are willing to help you guard your business, well, you better get out the billy clubs because that's about all you got.
You better grab a cutlass or a machete.
Yeah. You
don't have a corn knife.
Right. You don't have the option to defend yourself with whatever methods are necessary.
Rocks.
And you better believe there are people who have guns in Venezuela. They are the people who work for the government. As we learned in recent times, there are the official government goons, the police department, and there's the unofficial government goons, which are the bands of other brigands who aren't in uniform, who will do the bidding of Nicolas Maduro. They're basically
Stasi,
thugs.
basically.
Right, basically thugs who want to get guns, and so they do Maduro's bidding, and so he's basically arming groups of marauders who aren't the police to go out there and take the side of the government.
Well, they are the police, basically.
They just don't have badges.
They function in the same way that police in every country do.
Right, they can get away with murder.
Men that have the right from the state to harass people for money.
Exactly. Let's go to Warren, Pennsylvania, where Troy is listening to the radio. Hey, Troy, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, I was just calling about a friend of mine who got off of a DUI charge about 10 or 15 years ago because he said that he was kidnapped by the police, or robbed, as the old term, or raped, because the Commonwealth is still under English rule. I just wanted to hear your remarks on that. I'll take them off air. Thank you. Goodbye.
No, that didn't happen. He didn't get off of a formal charge. What was it, DUI?
DUI, yeah. Sounds like ridiculous.
Claiming that he was under English rule.
That sounds like an argument that Ricky, one of our regular callers, would make, however. I do want to let you know about Dash. It is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It can be private, easy, it's fast. Transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for pennies on the dollar. And Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. You can join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone and take back control over your financial future today. You can find out more at dash.org. And there's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. So check out dash.org to find out why. We'll continue with moments remaining coming up next here on Free Talk Live. Just enough time for you.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now, earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of
a user's manual for the human experience.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here on the radio if you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Here in the studio with you tonight, it is Ian.
Will.
And Johnny Ray.
And, of course, you can join us here on these remaining moments. We've got Skype username LRN.FM, the Discord call-in line, which somebody used tonight, which you can use too. You just go to discord.lrn.fm to get in there.
I have a question for Will. I'm so sorry.
No, please. No, please. I'm just talking about the Discord.
Will just gave us some gummy colas because he doesn't like them, and we talked about different products. Will, do they drink Cheerwine in East Tennessee?
Oh yes, they do. It's a local thing in East Tennessee. I think it's from Chattanooga or something like that.
I don't think so.
No, that's RC. That's from Chattanooga.
I think Cheerwine is from South Carolina.
Okay.
Because they have it. Because I grew up with it in Asheville, but
that's a soda pop, right?
Yeah,
it's a cherry soda pop.
It's the nectar of the gods is kind of how I feel about it.
Manufactured by the Carolina Beverage Corporation.
Yep. You and me need to get them as a sponsor somehow.
Salisbury, North Carolina. We're on the air in Salisbury.
It's the best product. It's the best you've ever had. I gave Tom Woods some.
Better than Moxie?
Oh,
yes. Better than Moxie.
Yes, it's better than Moxie. Unless, Moxie is divisive. It's that whole
people hate or love Moxie,
that whole anise black licorice divide. But Moxie is root beer basically.
Can you say anise on the air on the radio?
Anise? Yeah.
Joking.
Moxie is gross.
Well, Moxie. Correct me if I'm wrong. Moxie is simply root beer.
No,
it's different.
No, it's different.
Slightly different.
It's like RC Cola. If RC Cola put too much of that part of RC Cola, it makes it have a funny wang.
I don't know. I couldn't identify the RC wang.
So there you go, Cheerwine. So was there more than, or are you just asking about
RC
Cheerwine?
Cola
I was just asking about that. I'm a big fan of Cheerwine, and I got Will here.
Can you get it up here?
You can get it.
Yes,
you can get it over the internet.
No, you can get it here.
You cannot.
You cannot. It's top shelf over at it's either Price Choppers or Hannaford's.
You're the biggest liar I've ever seen.
4-pack bottles, glass bottles. I'm telling you,
glass bottles,
yo.
A Price Chopper. All right,
it's either Price Chopper or Hannaford's.
All right.
I
still don't believe
You're gonna have to check his
but I'm
claims.
going to investigate that.
I feel like I've seen you with one of these before.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
you've
bought
let
it on
me
the
have
internet.
One. Okay.
I'm just going to come into work in a couple of days to do Call to Freedom, and I'm going to drink it on the air, and you can just see me come running over here from next door. Where did you get that?
Whether you want to talk about products you used to love or still do,
Cheerwine is like the
whatever.
The
Does it make
promise. It makes me very happy.
You're cheerful?
Yes.
I like it. I'm kind of overselling
taste of
it
home.
maybe. But it's like the promise of cherry Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that'd be the best thing in the world, but
it's not.
It falls real short of expectations.
This meets your expectation.
Cheerwine achieves that promise. Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. I will keep that in mind. I will definitely sample some of it the next time you have it around. I feel like you've let me try it before, Johnny Ray. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a evangelist for it.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Let's go to Jackie. She's in West Virginia, listening on the radio. Hello, Jackie.
Good afternoon. Yeah,
It's
right.
afternoon
Good
somewhere.
Afternoon. Good evening.
Yes.
Somewhere, yes. In Singapore, where my daughter is.
There you go.
I have a comment that has just been burning me, and I've wanted to call in and bring it up to somebody. I never have heard it.
Okay.
How is blackmail? How come blackmail is legal now? There are over 800,000 illegals, and the liberal Congress holding over 350 million U.S. American citizens legal hostage.
Now, what do you
explain
mean
the
by
blackmail
that?
and the hostage?
Well, what I think is funny is explain how it's a liberal Congress when it's controlled by the Republican Party by a majority.
Well, yes, it is, but there are a few turncoats all the time.
Uh-huh. So what's the
Basically,
blackmail?
anybody who doesn't hate immigrants is a turncoat in the GOP nowadays.
What is the blackmail exactly?
The blackmail is that a very small minority is holding the majority of the American people, the legal American citizens, hostage because we cannot get something through Congress right now, which is a budget.
Yeah,
And then how is that holding you?
It's the same exact reason why the shutdown happened in 2013. Only instead of instead of last time, it was the Republicans that stamped their feet and folded their arms and said, "I'm not going to play." And this year, it's the Democrats who are stamping their feet and folding their arms. Somehow, it's different when the other team does it than when your team does it.
But wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just don't see the whole hostage holding thing. I mean, I was able to leave my house today just fine. I didn't encounter any checkpoints. Was able to go downtown in Keene. Didn't have any issue ordering a burger at Local Burger. Where was the man with the gun that was lording over me?
No, there was no man with the gun. It's just that Congress is being held up. And yes, in 2013, I had my head, I don't know where my head was in 2013.
Well, what do you want them to do exactly? I mean, it seems like you're really upset about this. What are you wanting them to do?
I wish that we could see that okay, I lived on the border with Agua Prieta. I lived in Douglas, Arizona for years, and we lived 1 mile from the border.
Okay.
And all the time, the illegals were walking through our property.
Illegals? You talking about human beings? You talking about human beings who are trying to find a better life for themselves?
I'm talking about illegal.
Nobody's illegal. No human is illegal.
I am illegal. I break the law all the time. I'll go ahead and accept it.
For real, yo. Free people in free countries move freely.
Yeah. So what do you want to do? You want to round those people up?
No, so you are not in favor of having controlled borders?
No, ma'am. I'm not in favor of a police state. Are you?
Yeah. Well, I'm in favor of having controlled borders around my own house.
For real,
and
yo.
let me take responsibility for that, and I'm not going to try and claim that I can tell somebody else what to do in their yard.
Yeah, men with guns enforcing imaginary lines has never been anything that I ever considered freedom.
Jackie, since you live so close to the border, you would agree that there are some good Mexicans, right?
Hey, I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, there's a lot of bad U.S. citizens. There are a lot of bad Mexicans. There are a lot of good ones.
Okay.
Well,
there are a lot of good Turks. There are a lot of bad Turks. I lived in Turkey. I lived in Thailand. I lived in the country.
People suck everywhere.
I have a question that is not going to prove anything, but it's just sort of out of curiosity. I'm going to simplify it very much, but if you could take the 50% of the lazy... Let me start over. If you could take the 50% of the top 10%, this is such a stupid question.
50% of the top 10%?
Or 50% of the virtuous, hardworking, good Mexicans, and replace them with the same amount of people taken off the bottom of that spectrum of Americans. Would you do that? Would you take?
You're saying lazy Americans?
A big pack of lazy, evil Americans and trade them with the same amount of Mexicans if it was, say,
meaning that
matter of 50 million people?
Meaning you'd be trading away the hardworking Mexicans in favor of the lazy Americans?
No, you'd be bringing in the best people in Mexico and sending out all the American rapists and robbers.
Well, I think that the merit system is a very good system.
That didn't answer the question.
No, well, I mean, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me, and I agree with you. I believe in a meritocracy or a merit. I don't like crassies.
Yeah, but who decides
necessarily?
Who decides who's meritorious?
Well, I think Black Flag Anarchy sorts out the good from the bad.
Right. I have a question as a person who's I've personally lived through our immigration system in my own life.
So did I. I'm 74.
Well, the immigration system today and the way it was back when your family came over is a whole lot different. Do you feel so? These people, they want to come here and they want to have a better life, but they barely have 2 nickels to rub together, and they are working for minimum wage or less with no overtime. Do you feel that the fact that my wife and I took the easiest and cheapest route to make her a legal citizen, and it cost us 8 years of headache, 6 years of being treated like we were, possible terrorists, and over $8,000 in legal fees and government fees. Do you feel that that could possibly be a reason why you have floods of what you call illegal immigrants rather than floods of legal immigrants?
No, I agree that the system needs fixing.
I think you should just burn it down. Thanks for the call tonight, Jackie. I appreciate hearing from you. I wish we could have talked to you earlier, though, because we're out of time tonight. So thank you for the call tonight. Anytime you want to talk, though, more, we'd love to. Meanwhile, you can join us online in the meantime at freetalklive.com. Don't forget to join Will on his show, The Call to Freedom, at calltofreedomlive.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm. The latest edition of A Liberty Laugh Time with Stenny and Z is next on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm. Get more at libertylaughtime.com.
The new Hot 96.9. All right, so we just spoke to Ariel. She went on a date with Rob, and there is a 20-year difference between them. But she said they had a fantastic date, and they even got romantic after the date, right, Ariel?
Yeah.
And now a few times. Whoa. And now he's ghosting her. Nothing. She's trying to get a second date with him, but he's not available right now. So we're gonna give him a call for you, okay, Ariel?
Thank you so much.
Okay, you stay quiet.
Hello.
Is this Rob?
Yep.
Rob, it's Ramirez.